Welcome back to Games Revealed. I'm James and also Brink, and we are one community. Today, I want to talk about something very exciting, something that we've all been waiting for the Steam Deck. Yes, a screen mod, a screen replacement. No, it is not an OLED screen, which is what I would like, but it is the next best thing, and it comes close. Now, we're going to talk about price, pros, cons, and all that, but before we do that, make sure to like, subscribe, bash that bell with your crowbar.
Like and subscribe, hit that bell with that crowbar.
Okay, now let's dive into a little bit of the information. Let's go on a field trip over to Twitter. And yes, Twitter is an interesting place these days, but there's still lots of good news that comes from there. Now, this project is the deckhd project, and you can be put on a wait list, which means that they're probably doing some research, some marketing, some pre-marketing, just making sure that people want this before they fully go in on it. And so if we go over to the deckhd website, we can see that it's the Queen's English colors, but that's not the point though. It gives the picture comparisons, which I'm sure it's not even correct. It's just showing you that it's going to look better, which, I mean, this is an overexposure more what it looks like to me. They just took a picture and overexposed it, so I'm hoping it doesn't quite look like this. But because, I mean, clouds don't look like, I guess maybe in a sunset, maybe clouds look like that, but we're getting too much into the details that don't actually matter because that's not probably a real picture from the screen. Now, the actual details that matter are the 1920 by 1200p resolution screen. And it's not 1080, so it's not 1920 by 1080 because the aspect ratio of the Steam Deck is 16 by 10, not 16 by 9. That's another reason why I think we don't see as many mods for the Steam Deck for the screen, because the aspect ratio is pretty different than a lot of other devices, like most devices. But we're finally getting something. It's going to push more pixels, meaning it's going to be a little bit more demanding on the games, but that's going to be part of the cons kind of thing. Now, 95% of sRGB is pretty good. It's a pretty good jump from what the Steam Deck screen is. Now, you got to remember when they were trying when they were developing the Steam Deck, they were trying to hit a price point of $399. So they had to compromise in certain areas. The screen was one of them. They didn't choose the best screen. They chose a decent screen. It's not, and I definitely wouldn't say it's an amazing screen, but for the price, for everything that's in this deck, they did a good job. I would love to see a more expensive model, like an $800 Steam Deck that has, what they kind of would have wanted to have in the deck, maybe like an OLED screen and all that, and a bigger battery. But we're going to get what we got. Now, there's also going to be an anti-glare glass portion to this screen. That's just like the Steam Decks, the more expensive model. Let's go into the comparison real quick, just so that you really get what the differences are between this and the original Deck screen. First up, it does show, the screen resolution differences. It's the same 7-inch screen. It's going to have a 95% sRGB coverage as opposed to the 67%, which is the color gamut, which is going to allow for more colors in it. Oftentimes, more colors in it mean a little bit more poppiness, but also the brightness helps with that. So and they're not upping the screen brightness, so it's still at 400 nits, which honestly I would have liked to see it be 500 nits, but it would have killed the battery screen. It's already something I'm not running max brightness, so it's a non-issue for me personally, and the anti-glare coating will help in the daytime, like going outside. Refresh rate's the same. I'm not surprised, as the deck can barely push the 60 frames as is right now. Another note is this $100 price for the screen. That's a pretty good deal. I think $100 for this is on par with other replacement parts for the deck. Like if you go buy a replacement screen on iFixit, I believe it's similar priced. And so now, while this is not an OLED, and I would have expected to pay a little bit more for an OLED, for what we're getting with this, I think it's a fair price, personally. And for those people that like to mod their devices, that like to do extras with their stuff, this, I think, is a good price point. I think people aren't going to be upset with this. It's not $200-$300. What people might be upset with is that once you get this modded over, the pros for this are, well, we said upset. So you're not going to be upset about the pros. You're going to get better fidelity in your games, like higher resolution. But at the flip side, it's the deck's already not powerful enough to even run at the native resolution now. So the 1280 by 800 resolution, it's already not great at that resolution. We usually have to essentially render lower, upscale to the resolution, to the native resolution. And so at 1920 by 1200, albeit I think the upscaling is going to do well at that, and it will make the games look better. You have to be a little careful with certain games looking just smaller. The scaling, the UI and a game scaling might not work very well. Some older games definitely. Like, you'll just get a really small screen and you won't be able to see anything because it's 7 inches. Okay, and then this is also going to be more taxing on your battery. Like, the higher resolution is going to mean it's going to take more from your battery. And when I say more, you're probably going to see 25 to 50%. Maybe 50 might be a little over the top, but like 25% reduction in your battery if you're really pushing those resolutions hard and pushing everything as far as it can go. That's a rough estimate, obviously, but there's pros and cons to this. Let's just say that. I personally will probably get one of these and do it partially because, for the channel, but also because I like to mod things. I like to do things. I like to test all this out. When it comes down to a recommendation, unless you're just a modding enthusiast and you just want your deck to be decked out, then I'd probably pass on this for now, as there's only a few games that would take advantage of this. Like, let's say AAA titles. They're not going to take advantage of this. They can't. They're already struggling on the Steam Deck as is. But some older titles, some older games, some games that are highly optimized, or some indie games that are not intense in some ways will look better with this resolution. Might be worth it. I, for one, really wanted an OLED screen that was maybe close to this resolution. I think the Steam Deck 2 should be this resolution with maybe a little bit better battery, because with upscaling, with all the way that works with FSR2, you can get some pretty nice looking screens. Like, I've played Doom, FSR, everything on the deck docked, and it looks beautiful on a 4K upscaled screen. So I'm definitely not going to scoff at this resolution. It's just a little unpractical. Now, where is this coming from? Like, what company is doing this? What is going on with all this? Now, I don't know this company very well, but FX Tech, they do the Pro 1, Pro 1X. And if we go over here, you can see, hey, here's the Pro 1, Pro 1X. It's got the QWERTY keyboard. It's an interesting phone. They do phones. It's interesting, and they probably have connections, or they're in China, and they have facilities that they can work with to get screens that are compatible with the Steam Deck. It's probably where this is all coming from. It looks like a valid company. They sell. People recognize the company. So it's definitely not going to be a scam or anything like that. And so, yeah, there's a good chance this is going to be coming very soon. We'll see. With a wait list, it's going to be interesting to see how long we wait. Some of these companies have been taking a really long time to release things after they announce it. At the end of the day, let me know in the comments below, are you going to buy something like this? Is this something you're interested in? I'm interested in it. I think it's a good step. I would like to see more competition in this field. I'd like to see additional screens come out. I'd like to see an OLED, but I've heard OLEDs are very difficult to make for this. And so I think this is a good start. I want to see some other stuff. I think if you really do care about that color correctness, that 95% sRGB is going to be awesome. So with that, I do want to know what you guys think. Also, check out my goodies in the description below, including stuff for coffee, for where I buy all my accessories, Amazon links, all that stuff. It helps support the channel. And thank you guys for watching. Check out my other videos, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. Later.
Bye.